How can I be free from this preoccupation with myself, my welfare, how others see me, plans for my entertainment, etc.? How can I be free from this preoccupation with myself? Depends on what you define yourself to be, obviously. If you define yourself to be the universe, it's pretty hard to be free of the preoccupation with yourself. If you define yourself to be the silence, then you probably experience there's neither bondage nor freedom. If you define yourself to be this guy that is separate from those guys, then the easiest way, if this is really your intention, to be free of this preoccupation with this guy, is to devote your time to the welfare of others. If you want to get over how others see you, then you have to put yourself in situations where you are at your most fearful disapproval point. So dress up as a clown, dress in a dress, walk down the street naked, whatever it is. I mean, not these are suggestions. Say what you really think in any given situation. Be willing to have someone say "fuck you" or those are sort of disappoint people. These are all ways to kind of get over how others see you. And there's ways to do that are real authentic and loving and kind. There's being rude and adding more harm to the world is not necessary to get over how others see you. How do I be free of my plans for my entertainment? Well, plan for other people's entertainment. So it depends on who you think you are. And in the kind of classic way I think you're talking about it, the best way to be free of focusing on you is to focus on other people. And if you're miserable while you're doing it, well, that's great information. And you can either use that information to kind of turn and look at how you're defining yourself. It's pretty hard for me to be miserable helping somebody else when I don't think that they're somebody else. And it's very easy to be miserable when I think I'm obligated to another person over there that's separate from me. So it's up to you. It's how you define who you are. How you define who you are. The trouble with sort of all of this is all kind of playfulness. It's just for you. It's for you anyway. Right? The whole thing's for you. You want to be free of it, but you would do all these things so that you can still get even greater benefit than focusing on yourself, which is just to redefine yourself, and then there's nowhere that you aren't. So in some ways, the question is a little loaded, because it still assumes that there's something wrong with focusing on you. It's just sort of which you are you focusing on? How big is the boundary of you? Is it limitless? Is it so? And that's something you decide, and that's something then you decide and then go out and experiment with and buffer up against and grow or shrink or grow or shrink. But the hard part about all of this is that it assumes you have to do something different than what so naturally is kind of happening. And that can be its own form of self-hate or its own form of fucking with yourself. Oh, if I was really something, I would be free of. It's like you're perfectly you, being you. And if you naturally want to care about the welfare of others before you, well, then you know how to do that. And if you naturally want to focus on getting over how others see you, well, you know how to do that. But the idea that you have to do any of this, that's another form of feeling self-important. But there's no problem with that either. I mean, it's just so fun. There's no way to make a mistake. I'm just trying to hint at the whole to-do list idea. I got to do something. And like, here you are. What do you have to do to already be this like amazing expression of the universe, being the universe? And that's just how I see it. I mean, that's the definition of over here. So I'm not saying that's the way it is for you or anyone else. Does that make sense? You know the Rumi poem? Contraction and expansion. It's like the flapping of bird wings. There's this, I want to live like this all the time. This is how flying happens.